Hello and welcome to Foxy Roxy Reviews. Today's topic will be the hashtag Do I Have Boobs and other trans news. One of the things I think I found really interesting about this topic was kind of all the responses to it, which kind of for me centered around kind of male privilege and body image and sexualization. So you could have kind of a male body that could be topless and that wouldn't have any issues at all, but if you showed kind of a female kind of topless with a nipple being exposed, as opposed to a kind of any other kind of part of that, then that was kind of seen as wrong. I think it's the same for other kind of topics like breastfeeding and things like that as well, where that, oh no, that's being exposed, so that's kind of inappropriate, even though it's either kind of a natural process. But it seemed a lot around kind of control of image, control of Facebook or kind of Instagram about these images, and kind of what was essentially supposed to be an experiment, kind of they kind of chickened out really. They just kind of just censored all the pictures really, so they couldn't really do anything. And I thought that was a little bit upsetting really, that they didn't really kind of look into that or even engage with it more. They just censored it and didn't really even contact the original creator of those pictures. I think there's this male privilege, I think, ties into other things as well. Obviously what Jeremy Clarkson said, which I kind of just really see as a kind of a bigoted and, I would say, to be honest, ignorant perspective of kind of undermining the transgender experience, to say, oh no, it just doesn't exist, people are lying, or parents are indulging it, or it's only kind of these seedy sexualized parts. And I think it kind of, for me, it kind of ties into all the same thing. To be honest, I think Jeremy Clarkson was just after some press. You know, obviously the big show coming out as well, kind of on the online video outlet. I think he kind of wanted to kind of make news for that, and transgender was a big topic. So to be honest, I think part of me just thinks he's just being cynical just to get the news out there really about his new show. And one of the things that struck me when I was thinking about this topic was how we don't seem to kind of deal with everything even now in a very mature basis, how kind of female and male nudity even now, we can't really embrace it in a way that's kind of reasonable, I would argue. You know, to say, you know, you can appreciate a male body and a female body, but it's always, for the females, always very over-sexualized. And I think this is where the transgender perspective, I think, can be really interesting, where it can kind of shed because you're seeing things from a different angle, kind of you're going through a transitional process, maybe kind of a bit older in life, where you're going from a situation when you are, for example, having breast development, can kind of shed a different light kind of onto these topics, and I think they do need to be examined further. I think one of the things that kind of struck a chord with the kind of Mashable article was the loss of male privilege. Whether that's kind of walking down a street, being in a bar, or, you know, being mindful of yourself, maybe people saying inappropriate comments to you or acting in a way inappropriately. Like, for example, what was mentioned in the article about someone kind of putting an OkCupid article up, and then people posting lewd comments kind of regarding that. And it's just very telling about when you're kind of brought up kind of in a male environment, kind of, you know, you can go and get what you want, you can go and achieve what you want, and then when you step into an environment when you've got to be cautious of your surroundings, or at least be aware of them, and, you know, some things you can and can't do, because that might be, you know, seen as kind of devaluing yourself or kind of exposing yourself. I just find it all really telling about how there is this great divide even now, and kind of saying, well, there still is these prejudices, I would argue, between the genders. Kind of in conclusion, I think what I hope comes out of this is that it can just be more discussions around these topics. I think they're all really interesting, and I think they're all really relevant. I think sometimes a day you feel like, oh no, there's kind of all these barriers have been kind of overcome, kind of like marriage, or kind of equality in kind of certain positions and pay, but there's still divides and there's still these separations even now. And I think the only way that we're going to challenge them is to face up to them. I mean, to some degree, things like Facebook and Instagram, those sort of things, they are kind of somewhat kind of complying to kind of, I would say, the laws or kind of social norms, but just because they're social norm doesn't mean they have to be. Anyway, I mean, I know it's kind of a brief discussion on the topic, and I think it would I think it would be nice to kind of discuss things in a bit more kind of detail, kind of certain nuances in the future. But if you've got any ideas, or you want to kind of got any other topics for me, please let me know. And as always, I hope you enjoy this video, and please subscribe.